every time he would open the bathroom, there would be like a wave of a smell coming, and I would just close the door again.
So, open house, yes or no?
Definitely, yes.
Definitely, okay.
Yes.
Open house snacks, yes or no?
Yes.
Oh, yes, snacks.
course.
Okay, very cool. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Realtors Reality Podcast from Asan Real Estate CRM, where we bring you insight from the most dynamic minds in real estate. Today, I'm super thrilled to have Eman Adnan with us, who is a specialist in the Greater Toronto area. Okay, Eman brings with her a unique perspective in industry, combining her architectural background, by the way, and an impressive 20-year experience in this real estate space. Okay. However, for the past 6 years, she's really been going after the resale market and now transitioning into commercial as well. With her eye for detail and deep understanding of the GTA market, I'm super interested to hear and learn from what she's going to bring into the conversation and insights and the real stories that's driving the market dynamics in the field for realtors today. Okay, Iman, we're excited to have you here and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Usman.
Okay, so today I want to get a little bit deeper into the discussion. So the goal is to really inform the listeners to this podcast about what's working, what's not, and this way they can make some good informed decisions and get those insights from people who have been there and done that, so they can learn from your lessons as well. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
So we're gonna ask some questions to get the conversations going. You let me know if this makes any sense, and then we're gonna do some fun stuff, lightning rounds, to lighten up the engagement a little bit. Okay.
Okay.
So let's get into a little bit more deeper conversation first. Okay. So the deep dive. Okay. What's the most embarrassing showing experience you've had so far?
Oh, I had these clients come from overseas. They're very excited to start their life in Canada. And we were looking at a couple of detached houses in Mississauga. And there was this one particular house that they really liked, looking at the pictures. And when we went in, it was an absolute dump. There were dog hairs everywhere. Like the minute you go in, you could just
Oh
smell
goodness.
urine and God knows what. Every time we would open the bathroom, there would be like a wave of a smell coming, and I would just close the door again. We looked at a couple, like 2 bedrooms, and we were out the door. The sellers didn't even bother leaving the house. Each one was working in a room. So we were kind of awkward going into the rooms as
Oh
well.
my goodness. They were at the property.
They were at the property.
Oh,
You
God.
knew there was a showing. At least this was a chance for you to sell your home.
Oh my goodness.
And it was appalling. A pile of dishes in the kitchen sink that
Oh my
were
goodness.
dirty. And it was very embarrassing.
Were you able to how did you repair the relationship given the awkwardness of the situation?
I mean, thankfully they were so nice. They knew
Okay.
that this has got nothing to do with me and not my fault. But I feel sorry for the sellers that they lost that opportunity because the buyers were really set on that house
Oh my goodness.
based on what they saw from the pictures.
Yeah, so
yeah.
that's where you have to really go in. So doing showings is so important in real estate. And a lot of people don't understand unless you don't go in and see the house, smell the house,
Ooh,
pick
yeah.
it up from the senses.
Oh yes.
It can look great in pictures and it can show well on the screen,
Yeah,
but unless you don't go in, it's not good.
It's never, and pictures are very deceiving. They're taken from certain angles where a kitchen may look longer or a living room may look bigger, but once you come in, I had one Chinese client living in Vancouver asking me to go house. He was ready to come back to Oakville.
Mhm.
And he would just keep sending me to the house, but he was like, when you go in, take a video, make a video tour of you walking around the house, and he would just immediately get a sense of the space.
Okay.
And then the other thing, he would trust me as well.
Okay.
And I tell him, no, this is not
It's
good
not
for
the right.
good for the money. So
Good, excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. So talk to me about you being the real estate professional in the field, actively servicing a client, how do you feel about the market today, especially where we are? This is in Canada for those that are listening. Eman specializes in the GTA market, which is Greater Toronto. How do you feel? Do you feel good about the market turnarounds with the interest rates where they are, with the inflation where it is? Share some perspectives, and what do you want to do in terms of servicing your clients in today's that tough dynamic market? Is this tough from your perspective?
Oh, for sure. So I kind of see it from like a macro angle.
Okay.
Because I've been in the GTA market for 20 years as an investor myself.
Right.
And I have reaped the benefits. Now, some people usually argue that, oh, that was then and now is now. But you always kind of have to see where the appreciation is taking you.
Okay.
And the great thing about the GTA is when you see those stats, the numbers need to come up. Well, what most people are stuck with is looking at short-term windows and see that there's a lot of fluctuation. Of course, I challenge anybody to pick a window of 2-3 years and you will see those fluctuations. Yes, I agree with you. But then when you see at a 10-year gap and you see that the number on average has been going up, and that will continue to be the case. Because if you look at what happened in London, if you look at what happened in the States, it's a very diverse real estate market. The best real estate market there is probably New York,
right,
which is a lot closer to Toronto.
Right.
So I feel very confident when somebody invests in Toronto. And it should be the case where they set up a system where you set it and forget it,
right,
put it up on rent. Yes, if it's a condo in downtown, you may have to give a little bit from your own pocket.
Right.
But in the end, you are building generational wealth. This is so important. And best time to do this is when you're single, because you don't have any responsibilities. You have that buffer in your finances where you can invest in real estate and take on the expenses a little bit more than you should.
Okay.
Once you have a family, you have things set up for them.
Right, that's right.
So that's the ideal age is probably like early 30s when you're in stable jobs.
Right.
Or if it's a small family, start off with living in a condo and then slowly build up from there. But everybody needs to think. We don't have mom and pop's bank account anymore to save us.
Right.
And we, knowing where the world is going, how finances are becoming more restricted.
Yeah.
What are our kids going to do? We need to set them up. We need to get back into that mom and pop account where we can help our kids. Otherwise, there's no way for them to survive, and that's a very scary situation.
It's getting tougher and tougher to get in.
It's very tough for families. I can understand that. So I really trust the GTA market. It is one of the best globally.
It's very resilient, I think.
Yes.
Right. So it is going through a downturn right now.
It is.
And it's going through a bit of a correction, but you're thinking over the long term, it will right size. It will increase.
For sure.
Okay.
And the common sense behind it is that look at what happened in New York. Now, I have a firm belief that we are probably 15 years behind what we're seeing is happening in New York.
Oh, wow. Okay. It's interesting.
15 to 20 years.
Okay.
So when space becomes scarce.
Right. Which is the case. This is happening here.
And now I'm specifically talking about Toronto.
Okay.
Everybody, that's the center. That's where everybody wants to be.
Right.
So when space becomes less and less there, what's going to happen to the value of your 600, 700 square feet condo? It will go up. Now in New York, what happened is that developers came in to key located condominium buildings and bought out entire floors above market value. And they would turn the entire floor into like a loft, two-story loft or something like that. And then now they are being sold for what? 10, 15
yeah, that's
million
luxury
dollars.
living. Like, that's
yes.
right.
So if you are particularly what agents, real estate agents know is the C1 area, which is around the CN Tower,
Oh, okay.
um, near the lake.
Okay.
Those are the buildings that are going to be highly valued in about 15 to 20 years.
So you really got to think long term.
Oh,
So a lot of
long
this
term.
noise, a lot
Yes.
of these YouTube thumbnails that are out there, they're saying, oh, there's too much inventory, the market is dead, the condo market is suffering, the rent prices are going down. You're saying that's a short-term play.
You need to have a stomach
Mm-hmm.
to be a real estate investor,
Okay.
to create generational wealth.
Right.
And you will have those naysayers where they're like, oh, this is happening and that's going to drop.
It's
and
doom and gloom.
sky
Everything is bad.
Yeah, the
sky's
sky is falling.
Right.
You'll have okay, if you want to listen to them, listen to them. But in 10 to 15 years, don't cry about it when you had the chance.
That's right.
To
Because
create
right
those
now,
wealth. Exactly.
the people that are screaming are the ones that are looking to sell.
Yeah.
But if you really buy, and that's what I've learned having to talk to a lot of professionals in this space, you really should be buying when everyone's screaming that, hey, the market's falling.
Yes.
Right?
Buy when it's low.
When it's low, because that is the time to get in.
Yes.
If you can figure out your finances, if you can figure out equity, if you can figure out getting credit or savings, that is discount.
Yes.
That is like, hey, the market's 20% dipped. That is when you get in. So as soon as it recovers, you've already made your appreciation.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. For a lot of people who say that, oh, we don't have 100, 200,000 sitting in our bank accounts, there is always a way. Joint venture. You
That's
have
right.
50,000, get 4 of your friends together.
Right. And that make that as an investment opportunity.
Yes, exactly.
Everybody wins.
It's not that hard. It's very easy. But yeah,
Right.
get the people that you can trust
Right.
to get. There's companies that do that for you.
That's actually, so I was going to get into that. You know, if you think about it, most of the real wealthy investors, we're talking, hundreds of millions or billions of dollars in ability to invest in various different vehicles. They never take on the risk for a big venture themselves. They insulate themselves by working with other investors in their own space.
Yeah.
And then they share the rewards, but they also share the risk.
Yeah.
And that's called syndicated investments.
Yes.
Right? So, people do that when they buy commercial units, when they buy large, multi-unit residential properties. If you're an individual investor and you have some funds, you should be considering investments that you can find within your own peer range that exists in the market for your budget.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That kind of goes into a little bit of psychology. If nobody has ever done this in your family, you will become very critical and scared. Right? Because you're going to be like, I worked so many hours and I have 100,000 in my bank. I don't want to lose it all.
Yeah, that's right.
Versus somebody whose parents have done this,
right,
and they know it's a sure way to create wealth.
Right.
And then you obviously have the much bigger families who are taking care of like multi properties. And they take on the risks as well because they can leverage it.
That's right.
So it always kind of develops, and it always starts with you.
That's right.
Right? When
That's
you
right.
make that decision, just connect yourself with professionals that are going to give you the right advice. And if somebody is honest, they will tell you, hey, this is not for you.
Right.
Wait a little, but he'll create a plan. Wait 5 years, wait 10 years. How about if we create a goal, $100,000 in saving, $200,000, let's get you there. And then we go into the next step. Okay. But then you have to be savvy about it. You have to make the decision, yes, this is what I'm working towards.
Right. So talk to me about specifically marketing and selling in this market. Talk to me about what would an agent need to do now differently than what they would have to do in 2021 or 2020, because the market dynamics have changed so much. Yeah. So what do you do for your clients to get them business?
So I think in this era, post-COVID, we still have a lot of agents not leveraging the power of social media.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I think that is number one, and that is something an agent now needs to be comfortable. I'm
Right.
sorry, if you are going to be sitting behind a desk and you're just going to be sending out flyers and going around the neighborhood. Yes, I just listed this house. Do you have anybody who wants to move in? No, that's not going to work. You
Right.
need to leverage every tool that is at our disposal.
Right.
Chat GPT, make better content, advertising, marketing, social media, flyer, door knocking, reaching out to your own database,
Fascinating.
letting them know whether they want to buy it or not, but they know people. That's the power of network.
Correct.
Right? That's why we have these connections. They might know of somebody that may want to buy something like this. So leave no stone unturned.
Fascinating. Okay, so that's amazing. So technology use is very powerful, but also face-to-face is very powerful. We're Asan Real Estate CRM. This podcast is brought to you by that, right? So obviously, we believe in the use of technology. We believe in ChatGPT, newsletters, designs, you name it. Call, text, email, and building a database, using a database, building a community, creating awareness of the market. But the whole premise of Asan and this Realtors Reality Podcast is to really ensure that realtors don't lose sight of the fundamental, which is, hey, this is a people-centric industry.
Yep.
Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So if it's a people-centered industry, the tools cannot be too technical, and that's what Asan is supposed to be, right? If it's too technical and you have to get certifications for it, then either you're a tech geek or you're a real estate professional, but you can't be both at the same time. It's very difficult to be a really good sales professional who goes out and meets people, engages with them emotionally, and goes out and builds those relationships, knocks on doors, makes it easy for people to connect on a personal level, because that's what decisions are based on.
Yeah.
And it, at the same time, becomes certified in a CRM, and on a day-to-day basis. So either you get help to manage and become a certified CRM user, or use a system that is easy and intuitive to use and still go out there and make business. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. I think the first and foremost, this is all about communications. And I have been through situations where I've had the best conversations with somebody over the phone I spoke with the first time, and then that contact being lost because I didn't have a system set up. So yes, I mean, that part was true about having a CRM that you need to be certified for. I've worked with every kind of CRM that I could get my hands on. And I just wouldn't, that system would not stick.
So you work with the big names. You work with HubSpot.
HubSpot is one of the biggest ones that I have. And it's a good platform for the people. I know people who use it. It works for them and good for them. But with every CRM, it's like you're working with a different personality. And that personality needs to suit you. So for some people, a simple Excel file is going to suffice. For other people, they need to have those integrated systems or drip campaigns that are set up. Okay, I did X, now Y needs to kick in and Z needs to kick in. And they're much more technologically advanced, so they can feel comfortable with something like HubSpot. It just didn't suit me. For me, I needed with Asan, because we can have that recorded conversation that I had with my client, but then the best thing about it is that I get the script, so I can quickly get to the point where I need the information rather than listen to the whole
thing again,
recording again. That thing is it works well for me, and I think that's one of the reasons why I stayed with Asan.
Amazing. Yes. So thank you. I think in terms of building that mechanism to drive for your client, talk to me about a deal where you feel like it almost got away, but then what did you do to salvage it?
It almost got away. So, yes, I had a person come to me. Their husband was ailing. This was a 75-year-old
Oh, okay.
lady
Okay.
who just didn't understand what her husband is leaving behind. So there was a commercial building
Right.
that she wanted to get rid of, empty. They used to build cranes.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Very specialized
oh
space.
yeah, I think 30,000 square feet or something.
Yeah, yeah, I believe it.
And she was just out of her wits, trying to find somebody that she could trust.
Mm.
She had worked with a friend of hers
Mm.
who had no prior experience in commercial and messed it up in a big way.
Mm.
So she came to me, somebody referred her, and so I did not have that commercial experience at that time. So I brought in a veteran from our brokerage to work with me on this deal and kind of educate me as well, because
Okay.
it kind of seemed interesting. I
That's
love
amazing.
numbers. So commercial is more about how you put the numbers together.
Right. It's
So-
very different from resale and residential.
Exactly. So I was like, okay, let's do this. Now, because he was a veteran, he kind of was like, if I get the deal, good. If I don't get the, and I was handling the client in such a way, because I understood she has an ailing husband. She cannot be scared or pushed into a corner to
Mhm.
make a decision, and I felt like the other agent just did that,
Mm.
and she backed off.
Mm.
But then she called me back with another 2 properties that she was looking for, and she was like, please, no offense, I liked you, and if it was just you, I would have worked. I just didn't want to work with the other agent.
Mm.
And this is something that we have to
It's personal,
hear.
yeah, absolutely,
It's part and parcel of the business.
Right.
So, but at least it got salvaged because of the way my dynamics were with the client.
Okay.
So you always kind of have to, you get into these tricky situations, don't take it personally, don't think all is lost, just be kind, nice, helpful,
And go at their pace.
understand their situation. Sometimes you have to act like the therapist.
Yes.
But
Absolutely. That's a good point.
basically, you gain their trust.
Right.
The business will come.
Right.
And that's my thing with
Amazing.
that.
Amazing. Powerful stuff. So it's amazing that you were able to recognize, hey, my strength isn't there yet, so I'm gonna tap for help.
Yes.
And then because you tapped on for help, it still helped, but there was some drawbacks and cons with it. But you were still able to rectify the situation.
Yes.
Because you were working and understanding the needs of the client. That's amazing. Powerful lesson. So now we're gonna lighten it up, okay?
Okay.
We're gonna end the podcast very soon, but I want to end on a high or a happy note. Okay.
Okay.
So some lightning round questions on how you do what you do, so people get to understand you a little bit better, and people understand, hey,
Okay.
what you do versus some of our other guests here on the show. Be prepared for rapid fire questions, and I'm gonna get into it, and you say yes or no, or pick a solution.
Let's
Okay.
do this.
All right. So open house, yes or no?
Definitely, yes.
Definitely. Okay.
Yes.
Open house snacks, yes or no?
Yes.
Oh, yes, snacks.
course.
Okay, very cool. You're the first one I've actually said that. I've done like 10 podcasts. So
Really?
far, this is the first one that you've said yes on. Fascinating, very different. Staging or as is?
This depends.
Okay,
If
depends.
some people have great furniture, we leave it, spruce it up, do some decluttering,
Okay.
and it's good. But yeah, if it's a great property, then it has to show properly as well.
Amazing.
Staging.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Good to know. More into the first showing of the day or the last showing of the day?
First showing.
First showing of the day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prefer using call or text when communicating with clients?
Call.
Call. Okay.
Call, yeah.
Most people do say call. Professional photos or iPhone pics?
Professional photos.
Some people I like iPhone. I've had
I am
agents.
so
I'm telling you.
surprised if somebody's doing that.
I've had a couple of people, so it's not here. But it's to each their own. They make it work, and this sells, so they produce. Weekend open houses or weekday open houses?
Weekend.
Okay, very
Yeah.
cool. And last one. Okay. Would you prefer an inspection or no inspection?
Inspection.
Inspection. Okay. All right. There it is.
Definitely.
Okay. So there it is, everyone. Thanks so much again for being in our show today. I'm sure the audience learned a lot, especially about some of the stories that you shared with us. Very powerful perspectives. And I'd love to have you back on the show. And
Can't
if
wait.
you
Let's do more of the lightning round. I like that.
That's fair. So more lightning rounds, good feedback. I'll put the link where you can get in touch with Eman if you are interested in getting in touch with her in our captions and our descriptions below. We'll go from there. So thanks for hanging out with us, and hopefully we'll catch you in the next one.
Thank you.
Bye for now.